This is what we're making today. We are revisiting one of my favorite Cricut products, which is Infusible Ink. And I'm going to demonstrate how to make a sign like this for your classroom with the help of Cricut Infusible Ink and my Cricut Explore Air 2. Let's get started. Hello everyone, and welcome to Crafting with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. You heard me right. We are revisiting Cricut Infusible Ink, and I'm going to demonstrate how to put this together. Now you could add more crayons, you can add a name at the bottom. I didn't want to personalize it because I'm actually going to be giving this away, and whoever receives it can personalize it. Now, I am going to take you step by step through the full process. And at the end of this video, if you find it helpful, please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's look at the materials and dive right in to Cricut Design Space. The materials I'm using for this tutorial include a Cricut Explore Air 2. I'll use 4 different colors of Cricut Infusible Ink. These sublimation canvases that I purchased from Amazon. I'll use a green standard grip mat, the HTV Ront Auto Heat Press 2, and the font that I'm using is one that's called School. I will make sure it is linked below the video. Now, without further ado, let's head right into Cricut Design Space. Design Space, and I am going to click right here on the T for text. My caps lock is on. I'm going to type in this classroom, enter you are. And I am going to change the font to one that's called School, and I'll close this out. I'm also going to increase the line space. I can increase it like this, or I can just type in my desired amount of space. I'm going to just type 8.0. And I'm also going to increase the space in between the letters because look right there in between the I and the N. It's not really a good designation. So I'm just making it a little bit bigger. Right at 0.6 is fair for this text. I'm also going to change the color to black. Now that I have the font, the text the way that I want it, I'm also going to click attach, and I can just bring it down without it impacting any of the other changes that I made. What I'm also going to do is click right here on shapes, and I'm just going to use a square as a template for the canvas. So I'm changing the size of the square to right at 11.4 by 11.4, and I will change the color of it to this light gray, and I'll move it behind the text. All right, so I can put the text up here at the top, and I can kind of make sure that it's centered, even though it's really not going to matter much. But just so I can just make sure the way that it is looking, it looks good. Okay, the next thing I want to do is click on that T for text, and I'm going to type the first word, which will be important. And once again, I'm changing the color of it to black, and I'm not going to make any other changes just yet. The next thing I want to do is go over here to images, and I did a search for crayon outline. This will open up a lot of different options for you. If you don't find one that you like here, you can also do a search on the Creative Fabrica website or Design Bundles and find one that is more suitable for you. One that I'm choosing is this one because I like the bold lines in it. But you know, this will be a matter of personal preference. I'm going with this one right here, and I can close this out now. What I want to do is, with the crayon selected, I want to rotate it by 90 degrees, and I also want to unlock the proportions, and I'm going to change the width and height. For height, I'm typing in 7.0, and for width, I'm typing in 2.0, okay, like that. And this is going to be centered right here. So now I can start to work with my text. Let me bring the view down a little bit on my canvas so that I can start to, so we can see everything at one time. The view right now is on 75%. All right, bring this word over, and I am going to click duplicate and type the next word. The next word will be valued. I can click duplicate and type the next word, and that one is going to be respected. And I can duplicate that, and the last word is going to be trusted. All right, and these words, you'll make your own decision about which words you want to add to your canvas. So for this first word, what I want to do is kind of change the spacing in the letters, because it looks like the ANT is too far over from the T, and I want to make some changes to that. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to ungroup this, I'm going to select the T, the N, and the A, and I'll use the arrow key on my keyboard, the left arrow key, to just move it over just a little bit. And I think that looks better. I'm also going to move the P over just a tiny bit, and the I just a little bit, like that. That looks better to me. I'll select the whole word and I will attach it. And then with the word valued, I'm also going to make some changes. I'm going to right click, ungroup. I'm going to select everything except the V and just move it over. Could have just moved the V, but I like to do things the hard way sometimes. All right, I'm going to move the L over, and I'm going to move the U over also. Let's see, the D. All right, that looks great. That looks great. All right, so now I can select the whole word and attach it. Respected looks good to me, and trusted also looks good to me. All right, so now what I want to do is resize the words to fit inside the middle part of the crayon. So in essence, I'm going to have 4 crayons on my canvas. So I'm going to, and I want all of them to be this size, 7.7 by 2. I can lock the proportions, and I can also go ahead and duplicate the crayons. So let's go ahead and do that. I want to duplicate, do that, and duplicate one more, do that. Okay, and I can select all 4 crayons by holding the shift key while I select them, and I can click align, and I want to align them to the left. They look really good, except the spacing in between these two. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. Move this up, move this up. I think that looks good. Now I can, change the color of the crayon. So let's like the first one. Let's see. Let's go to the first one. Let's change it to red. Let's go to the second one. Let's change it to yellow. Let's go to the third one. Change it to blue. We can change the last one to green. We can change it to whatever color we want to change it to. All right. And then now I'm going to just resize my text so that it fits right in here in the middle, like that. And I might have to like bring it down just a little bit because I want it to fit in there nicely and not look too smushed. Let's see, I might have to. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. All right, and the next one I'm going to do is valued. Okay. bringing it down, making sure it fits. Value looks good. Important. Okay, important is a little bit scary with the, it looks a little bit crowded. Let's see, respected. Let's go ahead and attach it. Uh, 1.5. Okay, and then trust it. Let's attach it and make sure it fits. Okay, I think that looks great. Now what I'm going to do is select all of the text. So I'm going to select in this classroom, I'm holding my shift key. I'm going to select all of the words, none of the crayons. And I am going to select align, center horizontally, just like that. And with all of it centered, I am going to click attach. So now all of my text is attached. Now what I can do is select the crayons. I'm going to hold my shift key and select all 4 crayons, and I'm just going to group them for now, just grouping them. I'm not attaching them. And I am going to move them over so that they fit exactly where they're supposed to on top of my text. So just like that. And really, if I were to select the crayons and the text, my text and the crayons, all of it really should align the way that, let's see, let's click the lines. Okay, so it really doesn't align the right way because the text is not because of the shape of the crayon. So let me click undo, but the crayons should fit perfectly right over them like this, and I think it looks great. The only word I'm a little tiny bit worried about is the word important. So let me click on my text again and let me detach it and let me work with that word important. Let's bring the view up so we can really see what's going on. Let me bring it up a little bit more and let me I will select the text and I will make sure it's all attached. And the full size of the complete design is right at 8.31 by 10.12. Now that honestly is a little bit small. If I wanted to make it bigger, I could. Let's see. So I'm going to go with it at this size. It is all 9.4 by 10.74 basically, and I don't need this anymore. I can go ahead and delete this, and I am good to go. So now at the bottom, if you wanted to like add a name to even personalize it a little bit more, you could definitely do that. I'm not going to do that. And so what I'm going to do is click save, and I'll call it In This Classroom. I'll click save. And since I'm using infusible ink, I'll need 5 colors: black, red, yellow, blue, and green. I'll click make, and I'll get connected to my Cricut Explore Air 2. All of this will cut together. And since I'm using infusible ink, I know that I will need to mirror this, mirror the design and put the infusible ink on the mat face up. But everything I'll do from here will be back on the camera. Okay, I'm using the black infusible ink first. I took it out of this package. It does come with butcher paper inside, so you have that option if you don't have butcher paper outside of this. So what I'm going to do is put the infusible ink sheet on the mat face up. So this should come with 2 sheets of infusible ink. I'm going to put it on the mat face up. I'm also going to go over the infusible ink with my brayer to make sure it is secured to the mat. Now I have all of the infusible ink cut. Let's go to an overhead view so that I can show you how I'm going to layer it all on one layer so I can press it at one time. Okay, I have all of my vinyl and, well, it's not vinyl, all of my infusible ink. And what I'm going to do is weed this first. And the goal is to keep the letters on the backing and remove everything else. So it's going to be a little bit wasteful, but I could actually cut a little bit closer because I'm going to need to layer this in here. I better not cut it. So I'll start out slow and then I'll speed it up. Okay, so that's the first part. You see I got all the inside of the letters out, and really if I want to make this easier on myself, I would just cut this away so that it's out of the way. Now I'm going to weed this one. Okay, the heat press has heated up to 400 degrees. So I am going to do a quick pre-press, but I'm also going to lint roll this and make sure there are no blue fibers that I don't see. Okay, I have the image on the canvas. I am going to tape it in place just to make sure that it stays in place and that I don't get any ghosting. I have butcher paper on the bottom, have the canvas here, then I have butcher paper on top. I'm gonna press it 400 degrees, 60 seconds. Now before moving this away from the canvas, I am going to be very careful about it because this canvas, I think it's easy to get ghosting here, but I'm going to be very, very careful and try not to move it until it cools down just a little bit. So if you're going to be using these same canvases, make sure that you don't move it until it's cooled down just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat press off, and I'll peel it so we can look at it at the same time. All right, let's go ahead and peel it and take a look at it and see how it turned out. This is normally my favorite part, but I'm a little bit nervous because I didn't tape the first one and I did get ghosting. So let's carefully take a look at it. Ooh, it looks so good. Oh my gosh, it looks really good. It looks really, really good. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that is that. It looks so good. Okay, let me let you see it up close. This is how it turned out. I love it so much. This is so cute. So if you don't have a sublimation printer and you want to get the, the effect of sublimation, so you see that the ink is in the canvas, and I got a really good result. I don't know what this is right here, but I mean, you could put something there to cover it up if it bothers you. And like I said, if you're personalizing this for a teacher, you could just add the name there at the bottom. But let's go ahead and get the dowel and the string added. Hopefully you did find this helpful and you are planning to give this a try to add some little decorations to your classroom, and you're get prepared for the students to come back. Let me know if you have any questions or any suggestions for me down in the comments, and I'll make sure to read and respond to those. But if you did find this helpful, please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching.